everyone, I'm Meg and welcome back to Meg and Keto Work. Today, thanks to some awesome questions I've had from some people who've seen the previous 3 videos that we have up there, I'm going to answer some popular questions about how to actually get into ketosis, what is it, how to, not give up after a setback, things like that. So I've come up with my top 5 tips for starting out on keto. Tip number 1 is don't sweat the setbacks. One cheat meal or one cookie, whatever it is you give into, isn't going to ruin any progress that you've made from your previous number of weeks or days or whatever it is on keto. If you just want to get back on the horse for the next meal, the next day, whatever you need, that is perfectly fine and you don't need to beat yourself up about it. It's okay if you need to give into a craving when you're getting things started. It's not like you can't pick up and get going again the next day. Yeah, it does feel a little demoralizing in the moment, but just remember it is going to be okay. You're in control of what you're eating. You can do what you want to do and you can achieve what you want to achieve. One cookie isn't going to be the be-all, end-all, essentially. If you're craving something for too long and you're ignoring it, you never know, that might cause a bit of a binge effect afterwards. I'll admit that's what happened to me after being 10 months straight being on the keto lifestyle. Having one cheat meal, I let myself snowball after that, and I don't want that for you. So again, don't sweat the small stuff. Don't sweat the setbacks. It'll be okay. Tip number 2 is learning to read nutrition labels. Ketosis is achieved by eating not 0 carbs, as some say, but a minimum number of, or maximum number of net carbs. Generally, it's between 20 to 50 grams of net carbs. 50 is a little on the high end and troublesome. It's 20 to 30 is the sweet spot. So net carbs are calculated by taking the total amount of carbohydrates and subtracting fiber, because that's insoluble, it doesn't affect ketosis, we can take that off. And in most cases as well, if something has sugar alcohols, that'd be erythritol, stevia, xylitol, any sweetener that it doesn't have a huge glycemic index that would spike your insulin levels, you can subtract that too. So to give you an example, I've got a delicious, let me just tell you that right now, Lily's salted almond milk chocolate style bar. These are amazing. They've been great for me. I'm a big chocolate person. I'm saying that in every video now apparently, so that's great. But to give you, for instance, we've got our nutrition label on the back here, and this is per half the bar, and it is an 85 gram bar. We've got 21 grams of carbs and 11 grams of fiber, which brings us down to 10. And we also have 6 grams of sugar alcohols. So we can take the 6 off the 10 for 4 grams of net carbs in half of this bar. And half of it is a pretty fair size. This is like a family style size bar, as tempting as it could be to eat the whole thing. Essentially, yeah, a serving is 4 grams net carbs. So we're great. These are delicious. I'd highly recommend them. But if you want to go for an even lower carb option, their standard milk chocolate actually only has 1 net carb per half the bar. So that one's even better, but this one's a nice treat too if you like the salted almonds. Tip number 3 is to do your research. I know for myself when I first started there was just too much information and unfortunately too much misinformation out there about the ketogenic lifestyle. It's easy to get to sort of feel like you're drowning in all the information, but my personal favorite resources were Reddit. There's a subreddit for keto in general. There's a subreddit for keto recipes. Tons of stuff is available there and tons of inspiring before and after photos, people's stories. It's a great resource. I also love Keto Connect. They've actually got a YouTube channel as well as a flourishing website, and they do very well with putting out recipes. I took a lot of my first recipes from their cookbooks. They've got a few out now. They had Keto Made Easy, I think was the first one. They've got some great recipes in there and they explain things very well, and they're very personable people, so they were a great channel to check out and you should check them out too. Essentially, when you just have the basics down, you know you'll be okay. You can know that it's going to work out. So there's no need to get too complicated if you're not very scientifically minded. I'm not super scientifically minded myself, so bare bones basics and you'll be on the right track for sure. Tip number 4 is don't start this journey looking for substitutes for the treats and sweets you love. So yeah, as much as I love these bars, I love the Keto Scream ice cream now, and I have substitutes for a lot of things, baking recipes. You really need in the beginning to let your body detox from your sugar and from the carbohydrates that it's been taking in for quite possibly for most of us, most of our lives. So essentially, if you can stay away from those things when you're starting out for about 4 to 6 weeks, you'll be fat adapted at the end of that time. So you'll know that your body is definitely using your fat stores for its your ketones for energy instead of glucose, which is the whole point of ketosis and the whole metabolic state of ketosis. So if you know that what you're putting in there is tricking your mind into, oh, well, I'm having a chocolate bar, then you might not really cure those cravings, which is what you're aiming to do. Long story short, if you're fat adapted, then that's probably a good time to start looking into these alternatives if you even still want them. Some people have gone so long then after the fat adaptation period that they just don't want the cookies anymore, don't want the chocolate, and they're just fine living with their regular savory snacks and what have you. Which brings us to number 5. Meal prep is my biggest advice for anyone looking to follow the ketogenic lifestyle. It's been an absolute savior to myself, knowing that, you get up in the day and you go to work and you don't have to think like, oh, well, I can just run to McDonald's next door. I can go to Tim Hortons down the block. It doesn't matter that those options are there if you've got a good meal in the fridge there with you. My favorites when I started out, and actually still my favorite, is chicken bacon ranch casserole. Very easy to make, very low maintenance, and it can be made in about an hour and 15 minutes, and you're set for between 4 and 6 meals if you don't mind eating the same thing every day. I love zucchini lasagna as well, bunless burgers, even just chicken breast and cauliflower rice is a great option for starting out and getting used to eating this way. So meal prep is number 1 in my books, even though I just made it number 5 on my list, but that's going to be okay. It's the most important, so best for last. Yeah, essentially those are my top 5 tips and tricks for starting out on keto. I hope this will help some of you out, and if you have any more questions, feel free to message me, leave a comment. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you like this video. And if you're interested in seeing some other recipes and things that I do while I'm following the keto lifestyle, please check out my Instagram as well at Making Keto Work. And please check back with me again on Thursday for our next episode. Thanks. Bye for now.